like as you said, you got to sell hope, and belief. We don't have any quarterbacks left. In 2015, we got none.
That was
and
awesome.
We signed those two dudes, and we only had one way to go, and it's the way that we did it. And because you guys believed, and because of the culture and the assistant coaches and the job they did getting those guys ready, we went out and shocked the world and won a freaking football game with the Coney Island Thrasher and Ryan Lindley, who was driving Uber. We weren't supposed to be
4 days before
this game. Supposed to win the game.
Is that some of your best coaching you've done, Chuck?
It has to be. That's selling. That's some of the best fucking selling you've ever done in your entire life.
I think, like, AJ, to your point, your question, we had a couple 8-8 seasons where in 2015, when Luck went down after that Denver game, and then Matt Hasselbeck comes in, 40 years old, and thank God we had Matt. I mean, I love Matt and forever grateful for that dude. He is a real dude. And he comes in and goes, 5-3. Charlie Whitehurst, we bring in the building. We got all these pictures. Remember, we got all these pictures, AJ, of Charlie Whitehurst just getting murdered when he was at Tennessee by
all over the building.
And I'm walking him down the halls, and I start to talk to him and turn him just so he can't see himself just getting murdered by all these great Colts players. And I'm trying to find, is there another way where there's not a Charlie Weiss, photo of him just getting sacked and murdered, get to the team room. But, those were the greatest, you're most proud of. I mean, to win, go 11-5 the first 3 years. And it's because of players. And those guys over at, like, the Nets, you guys were talking about Brooklyn Nets. I mean, we can ship KD off and play hardball, but it's, who said it, Switzer? It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. You got to have guys, So, I don't know why I brought that up.
But Whitehurst, dude, Charlie Whitehurst, he won some games for us, and then he blows his hamstring in Miami in the fourth quarter. You remember? He didn't.
Pat, the wheels came out of Matt, right, in like the third or fourth quarter at Miami.
Yes.
That shoulder finally went out, and Charlie's got to go in, and he's only been in 2 series. And he's trying to get out of harm's way, and he's scrambling to his left side, and he just throws the ball up for grabs and falls in one of our guys' arms, and he completes the thing. And then he's grabbing his hand. We get sending, Charlie, what's wrong? Well, I think my hamstring is kind of torn. I think it's torn. I'm like, Charlie, is it torn or is it just sore? What is it? What do you want me to do, Charlie? And he's like, I think I can go a couple more snaps, Coach. Let me give her a try. So he tried. I didn't give him a choice. We have no other buddy. Stephen Morris is the only other dude, and Pat that are left on the sideline.
Stephen wasn't dressed. I don't even think Stephen was dressed, right? I don't think he was dressed. I think there was actual conversation.
You're right. I don't think he might have been, because all those other guys were dead in the water and out. But
there was actual conversation about me potentially kneeling at the end of this fucking game. Like, this actually happened. This is a real thing.
We got a couple minutes left on the clock, and we're trying to take the air out of the game. We don't want to give it back to them and give them one last shot at this deal. And so it's third down, and here comes Charlie running for his life again.
To the right.
And he's running towards our sideline. And the worst thing he could do was, like, drop the ball or throw the ball and stop the clock. And the you can see the hamstring and the leg. He's just trying to
peg leg it.
And he just dives right near the sideline. Ball comes out of his hand, goes out of bounds, stops the clock. He's just laying there, And I said, Charlie, are you okay? And he goes, it is now torn, cuz. I think I'm done. And I'm thinking to myself, and Clyde's standing right next to me, and everybody else standing next to me, and in that locker, remember we end up going, we kick to them. They go down the field. They got 4 downs from the 5-yard line.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Remember, they got 4 downs. They got first and goal from the 4 or 5-yard line, and we get out of the first 3 downs. It's fourth and goal from the 5, and they botched the snap count.
Over the
And some guy moves or the center snaps and nobody else moves, and T.Y. McGill runs everybody over and sacks the quarterback, and we win the game.
it was awesome. It was
The locker room scene was classic.
Whitehurst is a legend, by the way. Clipboard Jesus is how a lot of people know him. Him in the locker room on plane rides and at social gatherings. He's a fucking icon living. That guy was hysterical.
Massive respect for Charlie and him coming in there and doing what he did for us.
We were down, 6 quarterbacks at that point. It was like, Jesus. I mean, it felt like it was literally a new quarterback was just getting hurt somehow in devastating fashion every single game. It was like, all right, here we go. And then the Trashers and the
Coney Island Thrashers.
Thrashers and the Uber driver coming in for the last week. It was like, of course, this is what the season is.